All right, Garrett here for GDCMMA. I'm here with Josh Hill. We've got a huge fight coming up here in Toronto, 165 at the end of this week. I'm super excited for the card. I know there's a lot of guys on the card that you know personally or that you've rolled with in particular. So I'm hoping we can run through a couple of these fights and see what you think, see who you think's going to take them. A guy you're familiar with most likely in Jesse Ronson going up against Mikel Pizarras. Ronson coming from London, ATT. I think he's an incredible striker, and I'm excited to see him in the UFC. How do you think this fight goes down?
It's good, yeah. I'm excited. I've known Jesse for a long time now, and good dude, awesome fighter, deserves to be there. It's a striker versus grappler match. This very old school. Jesse's got to keep his distance. A lot of footwork, stay long, uses head movement, and Pizarras has got to get in close to him, take him down, and look to hook this up. But if Jesse fights smart and fights like he can, I think he can definitely win this fight and finish this guy with maybe some body shots like he does, or maybe a nice head kick, because this guy's pretty short for that weight class.
No doubt at all. I was thinking the same thing. Those body shots with the leg, man, he's unreal with that coming across. So I'm going to say TKO second round. All right, one that you're obviously super excited about, myself as well, Mitch Gagnon against Dustin Camara. Let's just say, how do you think this ends, or where do you think this ends with him winning?
This is awesome. Yeah, I've worked with Mitch for the whole camp. He's stayed down with me. He's looking awesome. He's looking light, lighter than he's ever been. His cardio's looking good, and he's confident. So this guy, he's 10-0. Mostly all wins by subs. He's got good jiu-jitsu, but I think that's the only spot that he really gives Mitch any trouble at all. Really, I think Mitch is a better striker, better wrestler, better cardio, going to be stronger, better athlete. So I say Mitch beats him up in I'd say second round, and he's gonna get the TKO.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I think this could be a showcase fight for Mitch, because some of his fights haven't got attention, globally. Pretty much his last one, big in Canada, but I think this could be a showcase fight and really put his name on the map. All right, a guy we haven't seen in a while, also coming from London. He hasn't fought probably, I think, about a year, if not a little bit longer, coming off an injury in Chris Clements versus Stephen Thompson, who came in with a roar into the UFC with that amazing knockout. He comes from the karate background, trains with TriStar sometimes. How do you think this one plays out?
This is it's two strikers, a little bit both different type of strikers though. Chris is more of like a power puncher, and Thompson more like the karate, the quick snap punches, snappy kicks. I think Clements has got to get it inside. He's got to make it more of a brawl. I think he's got to kind of make it ugly with this guy. He can't stay at the end of this guy's punches in his reach. So if he gets in there, you can definitely get the win.
Yeah, I would say I would stick to that game plan as well. When Immortal fought Stephen Thompson, he kind of set up the game plan for everybody else. I think you just got to get in tight with him. You can't let him have distance, and maybe even wrestle a little bit with him. But I'm hoping Chris comes out with the win here. I'm going to say it'll go decision. Chris Clements. So our next fight, and we're starting into the main card here. We've got a really interesting one. I'm super excited to see it. I've seen Nurmagomedov, or however you say his name, a couple times live. Love these Russian guys. Him and a couple of his teammates are amazing against Pat Healy, who nobody gave a chance last time, and he impressed. How do you think this fight plays?
Pat Healy, I like. I remember I met him back. I think it was my third fight ever. He was on the card, and the guy's awesome, man. He's durable. He's beat a lot of big guys, big names already. Like people thought Miller was gonna rip through him, but he just put it on the other. And he's a zombie. Those guys, him and his brother both, they just keep coming, and eventually break you down and just get the win. So I think he's gonna do the same thing with this guy. He's gonna take him to deep water, and I think he'll win this fight.
I think you could be right here, because he's huge for the weight class too. That's a lot of things that people won't talk about, but just to be different, I'll take the other side. I'll say Nurmagomedov, maybe third. I'll say decision as well with that. All right, so a guy that came into the UFC and everyone thought was going to be super exciting, and he'd come from just some exciting wins, but hasn't really, his last two fights people actually thought he lost. He trains with GSP, he's got that name behind him, Francis Carmon versus Constantino Philippou. I think this is a really interesting fight. It could be a snore fest, or something exciting could happen. Who do you think's got this one?
I'm gonna go with Philippou with this one. I think he's got nice hands, good boxing, and I think if he gets in there and gets tighter with Carmon, who's a big guy, I think he can get the knockout.
That's interesting. I will, again, for argument's sake, I'll go the other way here. We'll see how it turns out. I'm going to stick with the Canadian guy and say Francis Carmel, knockout. Actually, he won't knock him out. I'll say decision again. These are going to be long fights, folks. Okay, so the heavyweight fight of the night. I'm super excited about these guys. Used to be good friends, apparently, and somewhere along the way, I guess there's some trash talk been talked here, but it's a fight I've been waiting to see since they were on the show together. Brendan Schaub versus Matt Mitrione. How's this one play out?
Both big guys. I think Schwab's a better athlete, but Mitrione is like that, just kind of that big meathead that can take a shot. And I think that's what's going to come down to the difference. I think it's going to go a little bit later. I'd say second round, and I think Mitrione's going to knock Schwab over.
Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, I will take Schaub knockout as well, second round, just to go the opposite way. Okay, this fight here, the odds are crazy. The last two fights of the card, the odds are insane, like I haven't seen very many times. Renan Barão versus Eddie Wineland. I mean, Renan Barão, you got to give it to this guy. You got to say that he is the champ right now. Dominic Cruz has been out for quite a while, and who knows how long it'll be until he's back in. He's been amazing since he's got that title. He's looked great. We've got Eddie Wineland, who's a durable guy, good striker. He's got the heart behind him. What do you think happens here?
Yeah, a lot of people are sleeping on Wineland. They think Barão's an easy win here. I don't think so. I think Barão's gonna take it, but I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. But Wineland's a durable guy, good wrestling. He started as a wrestler, now his hands are just looking sharp, like he's looking really, really crisp in his striking. So I'm gonna go with Barão. I think he'll pull it off, but it's gonna be a lot tighter than people think. And I'm gonna go with late in the fight. I think he's gonna tire Eddie out and bring him down. I'd say sub maybe fourth round.
Very interesting. I'll take Barão too, but I think it'll happen earlier. Before we get to the main fight, we're going to go backwards here and talk about a guy that you know personally. The Ivan Menjivar versus Wilson Reyes fight. Can you talk about that a little bit?
That's an interesting fight just because Menjivar, he was supposed to fight Kid Yamamoto, then Yamamoto's out of that, now Wilson Hayes steps in. He probably went from, the game plan to take Yamamoto out and sub him, now he's probably going to want to, stand up instead of go to the ground with Wilson Hayes, who's one of the best in the world on the ground. I got to grapple with Wilson Hayes in the tough tryouts. Guy felt like a bag of bricks on top of you. There's an interesting fight. I'm gonna tough fight. I'm gonna go with Wilson. I think he's gonna get the sub on Menjivar, and I think he's gonna be strong. It all depends on his cardio though. The later the fight goes, the better off for Menjivar.
Interesting. All right. I'm excited about that fight as well. I'll go with the Canadian guy, and I'll flip it around. I'll say Menjivar gets that sub and goes back to his winning ways. All right, so the main fight of the night, the fight that they're selling, a lot of people don't necessarily agree with the way they're selling this fight, but I do think it's the most interesting fight for Jon Jones in his weight division. I personally don't think anyone can really touch him, and until he goes up to heavyweight, it's gonna be complete domination. But how do you break this fight down? Jon Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson.
I'd like to give. I like Gustafsson. I think he's a good fighter. I just don't see him winning this fight. I think Jon Jones, he's smart first of all, and the only shot I think Gustafsson has in this fight is on the feet. Because he's a tall guy and he's not going to get bullied around by the range like most other guys do. But I think Jon Jones is going to do exactly what he did to Chael Sonnen. He's going to get in tight, take him down. He's going to pound him out, or maybe get the sub. I think he's just going to take away, that chance of getting tagged in the feet, and he's going to put on the fake fence, take him down, and they get the sub or the TKO.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. I think that because we're going to be there live, I hope it's an exciting fight for the fans. I mean, this is the third time Jon Jones has been in Toronto, and the other two were super exciting. I just don't see it going any other way than Jones. Now, on the flip side of things, if you break the fight down, and if you think Gustafsson has a chance at all of winning, I mean, it's a good idea to put a little bit of money on it because the odds are just insane. Sure. And who knows?
Never know, right?
Yeah, you absolutely never know. But hey, here's to the fights being exciting this Saturday. I appreciate your time, Josh. Thank you very much. Garrett, GDCMMA. Have a good one.